You know what Mountain Dew Hot is? Mountain Dew Hots. It's just fastballs. Like that's it. You're just bringing the heat right there. Hey, welcome to the 714, everybody. How you doing today? Boy, we hope you're doing so good. Check this out. Look, is that a baseball you got in your hand?
I have a whole bucket of them. I have a whole bunch of gloves down here.
I know I was in your office yesterday. It was awesome. I was playing with it all.
It's going to the DR in February.
Love it.
I love it. I love it. I was playing with a bunch of them. I was testing some of those gloves out yesterday. You test a good glove out, man. So good. So good.
So we're going to do a first today.
Yeah, we had a first yesterday.
We did. We had a first yesterday, and Chris did first.
You got invaded yesterday.
We did. If you didn't see 714 yesterday, you need to go back and look at it because there was an invasion for sure. It was awesome. It was actually, I wanted to pull that on you guys today instead of joining you, but
I had my door locked and
I had my door locked.
Yeah, I know. We know.
I nearly broke it down.
You got to know how to guard your door.
Yeah, we were sitting there, and first off, for those that are watching the 714, you're probably thinking, like, what are these guys, were they working? Yes, we were working. We were actually, I want you to know how this went down. We were actually in a very important meeting about small groups launching, and our fearless leader looked up at us and said, I'm throwing him under the bus. I am. He looked he looked up at us and said, we need to go jump in on Rick. And I'm like, are we doing that right now? He goes, yep, let's go. So the whole room gets up and meeting adjourned. Here we go. So
I needed a break. I can only sit in a meeting so long. I needed a break.
Yeah, we did. We needed a break. It was a good break.
So before we announce what we're going to do, let's let them guess. So put it in your thing. So I'm just going to hold up something. I don't know if they can see it all, but here, can you? That good?
That's really cool, dude.
Yeah.
There's some treasures.
Bonnie Raker gave me this, and there's a lot of cool stuff on this. Do you see this? Let's see, where is this picture at? Yeah, this picture right here. Do you see this picture? Dang, I can't get it close enough. Right there. That's Byron and Gail getting married.
What?
I believe.
That's awesome.
What? Why is that on there?
I don't know, but it's on there. That's Bonnie. Just we're reminiscing. So
wow.
So anyway, what are we doing today, Pastor?
So we have a big celebration coming up this weekend. So we thought we would just talk a little bit about it. 20 years, baby.
Ooh.
I don't know how
20 years.
20 years. So you need to get to a location this weekend.
Yes. And what time are those gatherings again? Just so we're on the same page, in case anyone out there has forgotten, or maybe it's been a long summer.
It has.
9 or 11.
9 or 11. 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. It's gonna be so good.
Yes. So we're celebrating 20 years, and there's we did a video of part of the story that a lot of people have never heard. So
yeah,
and so I'm not going to talk anything about that.
I was like, are you going to spoil it? You're going to go for it.
No, I'm not going to talk about that. So
and we've invited some special guests.
Yes,
we have.
Yeah,
very special people.
A bunch. Are you going to share any of those, or are you going to keep them zip-lipped right now?
Notice I didn't say any names.
Yeah, you set him up though. It was kind of like, let me put the ball on the tee and see if he swings at it.
I don't mind. And you've had to been around for a while, but Pastor Eric Burkhart, who I have been friends with for years and years. We've done ministry together way back in youth days. We were youth pastors together.
That's awesome.
Eric I remember at a church we were at, he was going to preach on a Sunday, and they told him he had to wear a tie. And so he did. He came in and they said, "Where's your tie?" And he's like, "I have it right here on as a belt."
That's great. I've never heard that one.
He had it around his waist. He had a belt on, or he had a tie on.
Right. He did what he said he was going to do. Yeah. Well, I'm pumped because I get to hang out and host with Pastor E this weekend, and boy, I am ready. I've got it's all ready to go. It's all there. I can feel it's going to be an explosion of awesomeness.
Yes.
If that is a thing.
Awesome.
So Sue and I have been around 11 years or so. And I just want to tell one quick story since we're reminiscing. So back when in the early days, I don't know, 10 or 11 years or 9 years. Yeah, 9, I don't know. Anyway, I was asked to go to youth camp as the KP Commando. Actually, Eric and Barb were part of that. Pastor E and his wife, Barb, were part of that, and you were part of that. And are
you talking like way back?
I'm talking, yeah, McCormick's Creek.
Oh, you're talking before this church.
Oh, was it before this church? See, I don't know.
That's when I was a youth pastor. That
was only 10 years ago. Was it way back? Oh, dude, my God.
That's when I was a youth pastor. You're probably talking at least 25.
All right, I'm predating like my dad. There, see?
Awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
But you did go to our youth camp.
I did. Yeah.
That's when Eric and I were youth pastors. We took 100 and some kids to camp down by McCormick's Creek State Park down by Indianapolis.
Nice.
That's a whole nother set of stories.
Yeah.
It is. That's right.
So this church is only 20 years old.
Yeah, just 20. We're young. Young, man, young.
Well, it's interesting when you think about 20 years, right? I mean, so when you look back and you go, boy, what was, like, whether it's when it started or what happened to get it to the place where things are right now with life changing. I mean, it's really amazing to look back over that journey and think about the fact that there have been so many pivotal people that God sent. There's been so many pivotal things that happened during the history of it all. And so that's what's going to be great this weekend. It's just getting an opportunity to see that, because, we got, like, I was thinking about the other day, we've got, what was it? 200 and well, it's over that now, but 228 Connect cards. So that's how many we've had in the year 2023. So that means in the year 2023, 228 plus brand new people. It's their first year. So again, they've not heard any bit of this story. So that's what's going to be incredible for those that were a part of the story early on and over the 20-year. Boy, you want to get there because it's nostalgic, right? You remember a lot of the things that get you to that kind of guided the church, but also even the things that God was doing in your life personally during all those times and seasons, through all those series and funny, creative things that were happening throughout the years. But even for the brand new person who's come and this is their first year, this is year one for them at Life Changing Church. Boy, they're just going to get an awesome opportunity to hear the history and get to know a lot about an incredible 20 years of ministry that God has blessed this church with. So get there this weekend. What time again? 9 and 11.
I'm trying to hold this up. So we started at what at the time it wasn't even being used, but it was the Edgerton junior high schools where we started in their gymnasium, set up chairs. We set up a fence. You'll see her in this picture. But this was in the very, very beginning of that. Let's see if I can.
Okay, he's got on.
Yeah, buddy, look at you. Woo!
I know.
Got some facial hair.
I got some facial hair on. That's terrible.
You got your tie on. You got them poinsettias in front of you. What do you got in front of you right there? You're bringing it. Look at that.
They're looking snappy.
I think those are mums.
You got pleated pants on right now. I can't see. Do you have a braided belt on?
I can't tell. I can't tell.
Braided belts were the thing, man. Come on.
I think I still have one.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Great.
So
Well,
Isn't that crazy to think that was that's a high school gang. Remember that. It's high school.
that's the original cafe. That's my mom right there. My mom was the original donut lady. That's
Yeah.
the name she got.
She loved to serve, didn't she?
And there's first look at the boxes of donuts right off the bat. I don't know, but man, we've went through a lot of donuts in 20 years.
Oh yeah, yeah.
20 years, man. So yeah. Here's there. Gail was one of the singers when we started there.
Look at that. They got jumpers rocking right there, man. They're rocking the jumpers. I mean, that's amazing. Look at that.
Yes. These pictures are ancient. Just a minute. There's one. Here you go. This is Eric's in here and Tim Warner.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Ah,
Yep. The old soundboard there and the old portable setup, right? You break out the table, you set it on a table, and here we go.
So right here, that's our screen. It's on two 2x4s, and it's a piece of cardboard that we painted white.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. So we started at that school, and then we could only go there through the school year, and at the end of the school year, that's when they built our new high school up here, and they were going to tear out all the asphalt, so we had to leave. So we went from September to the end of May, and then we had to find a new location, and there wasn't anything in Edgerton, so we went to Eden, and we used their old high school over there. We were there from June, July, and August, and then so the new high school was opened up here, and it left up the old high school here, and so we went from there, from Eden High School that was abandoned that we had used, and then over here, what's now the town hall, up where the police department is and all that, and the mayor, and so we used that, and then we finally bought the facility here. I think it was about 3 years in. So we were 2.5, 3 years setting up every Saturday night, tearing down right after church.
That's the party, buddy.
It is the party.
That is the party. That's the party. You know what's so good about that, though? I tell you, a lot of times it's a great reminder for us because, like throughout Scripture, you see God blesses us, right? And so, like, as God blesses those, who are obedient and do his will and are after his purposes, as his favor rests on those people, it's wild to see that when the blessing comes, sometimes we can forget the blessings of those early beginnings. Because I bet that day that you had to move out of the Edgerton school to the Eden school, even though you had to move and you had to go up the road, that was probably a day that you were full of relief that you actually still had a place to meet for church.
You did.
Right? Even though it got pulled out from under, you're like, what? The plan? We had a plan. We were going to meet here. And they said, you can't meet here anymore. But then when you found a building up the road, even the people were like, hey, let's go. Let's go. We got a place to have church. Let's go do it. And so again, that just is a reminder, like those are the things that bring us back to really what the heart of church is all about. Again, it's about being together at whatever the cost. Again, we have to go up the road, back down the road, wherever we have to go. We need to buy the hardware store in town eventually, whatever it is, making the priority to be together at all costs. Boy, it's a great reminder.
Great reminder.
Well, I just want to tell my first experience of life-changing church. Yeah. Brian was a youth pastor, my son. And you guys were having a series here called Trapped.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there was a cage. It was a wire cage, probably 6 feet by 6 feet by 5 feet, or well, no, I was able to stand in it by 6 or 7 feet tall. And it had a door on it. And Brian asked me, I've never been in this church, okay? Heard a lot of things about it, had a lot of assumptions. And he asked me to come and give my testimony.
Hmm.
And I had been delivered from pornography. And he asked me to come and give my testimony. And I said, Brian, I'm not coming and tell nobody. I don't even know those people. Are you nuts? And anyway, he talked me into it, or Holy Spirit did. And I gave my testimony. It was wow. It was there was some freedom in that took place in me.
Yep.
And I can remember talking to several guys in the back, and I asked them, "What are you guys doing here?" I said, "Yeah, we come to church here." And wow. And that's when we were contemplating coming as a church, Life Edgerton Christian Church, coming here and joining you guys. And so kind of a little bit of a history and a little story there.
So that's when Pastor Steve Wilmot joined us.
Yeah.
A bunch of you guys, and so that was pretty huge.
It was.
You guys don't hear of two churches doing that too much.
Yeah.
And then so we've done it. We did it again.
Yes.
A little bit different, but when North Rock joined us.
Yep.
In 2021.
Yep. That is correct. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean that's funny. I mean, I think what was even wild about that for a lot of people, I don't know that many people even knew that you and I knew each other, Byron. Like, I mean, and we had known each other for.
I didn't tell too many people.
I don't blame you. I'd have kept that to yourself. That you would have saved a lot more face just not mentioning.
That's not true.
No, but that again, I remember it's so wild because my time in Toledo, Ohio, at Cedar Creek Church over there, I remember vividly when we first got introduced. I came to the building there in Edgerton because there was some different things that you guys were looking at or planning on doing with sound and some different things with lights, and some of our team came over and talked to some of the leaders over here and spent some time with them and different things. And then you and I had an opportunity to meet each other. And then, boy, that's been, I'm trying to remember when that would have been. It's been 15 years ago at this point. And then you invited me to speak on a Sunday morning. I came and spoke on my first Sunday morning at the Edgerton campus. This was way before there even was an Angola campus. And it's wild to remember that, because I remember, I'm going to tell you my most vivid memory from that was we stayed in the Holiday Inn right there in Holiday City. And you guys put us up in the Holiday Inn. And I just remember we came over and when we got to the Holiday Inn, I remember telling my kids after that experience that this is what family and church family should be like. Like, we got to the room that night and I remember you asked me a lot of questions. You're like, so who else coming with you? And I'm like, well, it's my wife and my children are coming with me, and you're like, oh, what ages are your kids? And, I'm like, why are you, I'm telling him all these things. And again, this is my first experience with coming to Life Changing to speak or be a part of what was going on over there. And when we showed up to the hotel room with my family, the hotel room was decorated from top to bottom. There were, again, the thoughtfulness that went into that moment so that our experience was great. Like, our kids had, like their favorite snack. How did they know? How did they know it was Cool Ranch Doritos? I love Cool Ranch Doritos. And so, but it was just unique. There were t-shirts in there, Life Changing Church t-shirts. And, everyone in my family was just blown away that night by just the thoughtfulness and the servant's heart. And again, that's been the heart of this church since the beginning, right? Pastor Byron, you've just done such a great job of, your idea that we wanted you to, we wanted you to know that we knew you were coming. We wanted you to know that we were prepared for you. So that's just, I think that's one of the things that over 20 years has just made what happens at Life Changing so special. Is that I think every week, for those that are checking out Life Changing, or maybe it's year one for you, that's really is the goal, is that when you walk in on the weekend, that you would feel like we were ready for you, like we knew you were coming, and we were excited that you were coming when you get there. So I'll tell you, that's a special memory for my family that we still talk about it to this day. So
that's an awesome story.
Yeah, when we first started, I can remember that being such a big deal. There were 10 of us, and the Studers and the Nyharts and the Burkharts and the Warners, and we sat in my basement and would talk. And I just remember that conversation all the time, which seems so odd to me, that we had to have that much conversation about how friendly a church should be. And just that atmosphere and so we talked about it a lot, about how to make it that way. And I remember it was before we bought this building. We were at the town hall now in Edgerton, and you had to walk in, like if you're familiar with that, if you walked into the police station or whatever. So you had to go down the hall and then down another hall, a long hall, to get to the gymnasium where we were. And so we had put greeters here and then on the corner. Well, what began to happen is that just became the culture of a welcoming culture. People just kept grabbing it. And we had all the way down that hall, you would walk down it and people would be greeting you and talking to you. And they weren't official. They weren't greeters. They were just people. And it was like you had to go through this gauntlet of people to get there. And it was just how friendly they were. And it was that culture just kept carrying. And I remember seeing that, going, that's what we're talking about. That's that atmosphere, that whether you're a greeter or not, you're a greeter.
Yeah.
That you're a part of it, that we don't just come in and sit down, that we're all welcoming each other. It's just that experience. And so, obviously as you grow, those kind of things are harder. But that's why vision is so important. That's why we try to share vision. Matter of fact, we're starting a thing. We used to do a vision, 2020 vision class, and we're bringing that somewhat back. We're calling it Rhythm Night. Mm-hmm. And so you need to go to a Rhythm Night. You're going to hear about that. Go to a Rhythm Night to hear vision and the whys of why we do what we do. Because I remember telling that group of 9 other people, sitting in my basement, I said, we have to talk about this all the time, or we will just become a church and just do church, because it just takes a lot of effort to do what we do, and purpose. And so I'm over excited and thrilled that 20 years later we still talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
I've got to go, but one thing that I'm looking at, this board that Bonnie made, there's a headline, and it's from the Edgerton Earth at the time, and it says this: they've thrown out all traditions. Huh? I haven't read that article, but wow.
Yeah. Well, I remember having some other newspapers interview me, and it didn't quite get written the way I had said it, and I've always hesitated to do an interview again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
first line says this. It says, Life Changing Realities Fellowship Church has a size issue. We must have been. It keeps growing and growing and growing. That's how it starts out. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I got to go. Thanks for allowing me to reminisce with you guys and bust in on this party. So
Love you,
Yep.
Pastor Rick.
love
Yeah.
you guys. Blessings, 714ers. We'll see y'all.
Talk
Yeah.
about you when you leave.
Okay.
That when you were saying, when we were just talking about that, one of the things that was really interesting, you talked about just becoming just become another church, right? Just becoming another church. And that's, the mark of a church that is honoring Jesus is growth, right? Again, 20 years of growth. It doesn't mean there weren't seasons that are hard, right? Doesn't mean there weren't seasons that were extremely difficult. And it doesn't mean that sometimes we don't stray from the vision. But I think over 20 years, that's what I tell you, it's just been really cool to watch, because I feel like knowing you now and knowing you then, that's something that I admire about you as a leader. I think that's what you've stuck to, is this is who we are and this is what we're going to do. And what I look at it through the lens of, like, when Jesus says in John 13:35 that the world's going to know you by your love for each other. They're not going to know you by, how cool your buildings are. They're not going to know you by, they might come for that. They might come and say, boy, these seats are really comfortable. But the reason people stay, the reason people stick, is because of the love that we have for each other. And love is messy, right? Love is messy. That doesn't mean it's always good. It's always perfect. It doesn't mean there's not always, or not sometimes, things that happen over 20 years. But I will tell you what, I've been just thoroughly impressed looking down that list of 10, the originals that were around. And then even now, just people who've been around for many, many years. Pastor Byron, I just, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to put you on a pedestal here, but I just want to say, great job as a leader, holding tight to the vision and constantly reminding us, right, over the last 20 years about why we need to do what Jesus said, and let him take care of the rest. So it's good.
It's been amazing. We've been doing a lot of talking about the last 20 years here recently, and looking at pictures and videos, and there's just a lot of amazing stories. And of course, as you've said, it's all that doesn't come without some trials, and we've definitely faced our trials. And almost 7 years ago, I had a dark time in my life, and I think we as a church had a hiccup there, and pushed through and overcame. And then we faced the lovely COVID back in 2020. And I remember there was like, I don't know, like the third week into that, I thought, will we survive?
Yeah.
I was like, this I don't like this. I'm too much of a people person. I didn't like only video. And I really thought, wow, will we ever have church again? Will we survive? And we made it through that. And all churches felt a hit on that time. And and so I think we recovered well. And here we go. We're adding church number 3 in Hillsdale. And
yes,
I can remember when we first started, just thinking, if we could just get like 50 to 70 people to show up. that was, I never really thought, what would it look like if it really works. And God's just, the amount of people, Gail and I talk about it all the time, just the amount of people that we have gotten to know, as it blows us away. We have been able to meet so many amazing people, and do life with them, and it's nuts. I mean, we have friends all over the place, and so that's
awesome, man.
Lots of neat stories. Neat stories. A couple that I think of a lot, and are the Grays, Ray and Roberta Gray. They came only as a favor to my sister. With my sister, and they came only as a favor to her. Okay, all right, all right, all right, all right. We will come to your brother's church. See that? I mean, they came to the very first service, and they've been with us ever since. They, you know, and the Grays, they weren't church people, and they were exactly what our vision's about. And we've been with them people, and they've of course they themselves have been through lots of stuff, but just lots of stories like that of people. It's all about people turning their feet to Jesus. That's the only reason we started a church here, to see people have a relationship with Jesus. So yes, good stuff.
That's good. It is good. And it's really exciting to even think about Hillsdale. I mean, the number of people that were meeting up there, and like, again, this is the coolest thing ever, whether you go to the Angola campus or the Edgerton campus, like, this is important. It really is important for us to see this. We are one church that meets in multiple locations. So, you know, this vision is not something that's just at one or the other. It's at all. And so that's what's exciting, is to bring this even to Hillsdale, Michigan. I remember I called you, or I know I texted you a couple weeks ago. I was up in Angola that weekend, and I think you were down in Edgerton. And I told Kenny Nick to send you a picture, because, like, literally in Angola, we had no parking spaces, zero. I mean, we were parking people clear out to the road, and Kenny Nick came up to me and said, "We got a problem. We got to figure out what to do." And so, but again, now 20 years later, think about that. 20 years later, that's in Angola, which is, again, another campus that opened up as a result. So just think about that, you know, even for Hillsdale and the future. And with all of that said, I want to start, I would be remiss, I'd be completely remiss to not tell all of the wonderful people in Edgerton, Ohio, that believed bigger than just one location, right? I think that was even some of the beauty about God moving you guys up to Eden and then back, is again, believing for something bigger. Boy, I'll tell you what, there's something powerful when we say it all the time, when you live for the you next to you. You know, when you live in a community, and your community decides to live for another community and see another church get started in another community, boy, I'll tell you what, that's powerful. Powerful.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, you don't want to miss Sunday. So come out, be with us, do whatever. Come on over, hang out with us, celebrate with us. We would love it. Bring some people with you.
Bring 10.
Bring 10. Bring
10. I know I just want you to know we got some extra donuts for the weekend. We got the goodies. Like, I talked to the hospitality team yesterday. They're like, we ordered in some extra donuts. We're ready to go. So they got, it's going to be a party, and all we need to throw a party is you. Right? We just need you. Come on.
I can make one promise. I will not wear a tie on Sunday.
I think we should make him wear a tie. Wouldn't that be great? No, I'm just teasing. He wouldn't do it. No, it's so good. So good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting stuff. So 9 and 11 o'clock, man, bring 10 people with you. Come celebrate with us, and let's dream a little bit about the cool things that God is going to do. 20 years of history, and just seeing the goodness of God. Boy, what an opportunity to reminisce, but also just to look forward for what God is going to continue to do through the vision of this church. It's exciting stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So there you go. There's your 714 today. Yeah, I was just even thinking about that. I think we've done 714s for over 3 years now.
Isn't that wild?
We started during COVID, and that in itself, just think of, I mean, there's just a lot there. I mean, of the people. I was just talking to my son about 714 and how, you know, there's a group of people that if we didn't do it, they might come after us with axes.
Absolutely. Well, the number of people that we've met through this and everything, again, like, I mean, I couldn't even begin to throw the names out there, but I mean, literally, we say it at Church Where You Are all the time. We say from we say from the Californias to the Carolinas, from Texas to Wisconsin. That's not just a saying. There literally are people all over the U.S. that participate in the 714, and the church where you are experience. So it's so cool. It's awesome to think that we get to do this.
We love you 714ers. Is that what Rick always calls them? 714ers.
Yeah, 714ers.
So we love you people. Thank you for all that you do, your love for us, your support, your prayers for this church, and keep praying and come celebrate with us on Sunday.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good.
Why don't you pray us out of here?
You got it, buddy. Well, God, today, first off, we just want to start off by saying thank you. Looking back 20 years ago, I know that you had this dream for what you wanted to do through Pastor Byron and Gail and through Life Changing Church. And I'm just so thankful, first off, that you saw something in them. You saw gold in them that you wanted to use for your glory. And God, I thank you so much for all the blessings that they have been to our lives over the years, in their service and their heart to see Jesus get the glory. God, that is evident that's their heart in this. And so it's with great expectation that we move towards Sunday, knowing that on Sunday, we're going to celebrate something really special. We're going to celebrate the work that you have done over the last 20 years of life change. The hundreds, even thousands of people that have turned their feet to you and been baptized. The churches that have grown in other cities, and even the work that's being done abroad in the Dominican Republic, and all the different mission work that's happening around the world. And God, all of that happening because of what's happening in each individual's life. Each person that is taking next steps with you and living their life to be a rescuer has caught this vision and is living it out. And so today we're just thankful, and boy, we're thankful we get to do this, and we're looking forward with great expectation to an incredible celebration this weekend and many, many more years of seeing life change happen. We love you. We thank you today. We ask your blessing on everything we do this weekend. May it bring your name glory, Jesus, in everything we do and say. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I love it. All right, come on, get to church this weekend, 9 and 11. And hey, don't forget, tomorrow morning, 7:14, same time, same place. We'll be right back here. So, sound like a winner?
Winner. See you,
All
everybody.
right.
Thank you.
Have a great one.